retail site selection is down to a literal science. And the interesting thing is that all the retailers who want to be in your community have already identified Morgan Hill, so that part is done.
When I do a project, even if it's anchored by a Walmart or a Safeway or Target or something, is that I always try and take the approach that you have to blend in and mix local serving retail, local merchants, because at the end of the day, if it's nothing but a bunch of chain stores, it doesn't make any difference if it's in Morgan Hill, Los Gatos, or Topeka, Kansas. For a community to thrive, you have to have the local specialty, whether it's retail, whether it's restaurant, because it's what connects back to the residents that live there. Because otherwise they're just going to go somewhere else to find that experience.
Well, at the risk of hitting the third rail, because I know that Morgan Hill has housing allocations, if there's some shopping centers that ought to be blown up or toys that ought to be fixed, however you want to put it, there's increasing demand for housing. And if you increase the number of people, you increase the market, which means that perhaps then you're pushing retailers to fewer spots. There are more people here to support the retailers and maybe a broader array of retailers.
So what you need probably is more smaller buildings. You need more, entrepreneurial type of companies that start out with 10 or 15 employees and eventually maybe grows into 50 or 100 employees, but you need that whole mix.
I don't know how industry is going to evolve into the distant future, but I think there will be different types of manufacturing occurring, more smaller scale manufacturing occurring in the future, and that's something that can be picked up on. But ultimately, ESA really wants to have a strategy that looks at the full spectrum of types of businesses.
So you're going to be there, just like San Jose is in the context of the larger picture. It supports the core of all the investments at Stanford and Cal, and we need to find a way to celebrate your opportunity of being that part of the bigger equation. And I think the pressure is back. You're seeing rents as high as $7 and $8 a square foot per month. Not everybody, not every company can survive and be competitive in that. And they're moving to other places. And it might be Morgan Hill, and if it's not Morgan Hill, it might be Austin, Texas. So you got to appreciate where you are in that hierarchy of the core outward and try to capture some of that with some of your assets.
You can't have an edge of town without a center of town. If you don't have a center of town, every place is just like anywhere else, and there's nothing memorable, and there's sort of no value there, and why would I be here instead of anywhere else? So I think it's a very important generational challenge to get downtown right, to just get the basic framework right, and then stand back and let the tenants, let the independent business operators and the owners of property do what they do within the economic envelopes that they have, and just have at it.
I know our dynamics in Fremont are suggesting that actually is what the market is driving. The market actually wants to do mixed use because they're going to get more value for the land. The tricky part is, and this is the role I've been playing throughout in the 20 years of my career, is making sure that the mixed use stays true to the retail intent. Because the whole reason why you're taking it on in the first place is that you want to bolster the retail environment. If you do the mixed use, really making sure that the building form works for retail, because there's nothing worse than doing the mixed-use project to incentivize the retail only to find out that the retail doesn't work because of the needs of the rest of the project.
Not everything can be perfectly calculated by some algorithm where you plug in some data and then you get out the perfect result. I don't think we should discount the virtue of trial and error, and don't be afraid to adapt. You know, if your staff gives it their best shot and it's not perfect, let them tweak with it and get it right. And I would say start small. Have, maybe mimic our strategy of the 3 tiers: mandatory, optional, and not allowed. Keep it tight, and then if you fill that up and it's bursting at the seams, expand it. And if
The last 50, 60 years, this whole country has been obsessed to the point of insanity about free parking. There's some practical access. People arrive by car. We all drove here, and that's the situation we've got. And retailers need adequate parking, but downtown is not a shopping center. A shopping center is designed around extremely convenient access by car. So in a downtown, there needs to be enough so that you're not at a complete disadvantage. But at the same time, when you get out of your car, you need to be able to walk and have a variety of experiences.
placemaking is the art of creating those places that we love and those places that we care about. It's not about, urban versus suburban. There's nothing wrong with suburban, but a town without a heart and without that special place is incomplete. You never mail, grandma back in Wisconsin a postcard of the strip mall or the office park, right? It's downtown with the little town hall on the columns. And so it's that art of bringing that back and having that civic pride and having one part of town where you get out, you walk, you meet people. It's a public place rather than oriented toward private activity, and that it's special and everybody cares about it.
A place to go is definitely important. I think Morgan Hill's strongest asset is obviously the wine industry, which should go hand in hand with the culinary tourism. So this whole aspect of culinary tourism is becoming huge.
The wine industry is really key to drive that tourism. You want people to come and spend the night. You obviously don't want them drinking and driving, but you want them to come, you want them to have that nice meal, walk in your downtown area, have a couple glasses of wine, have a nice, go to dinner, go see an art gallery afterwards, and then go to that boutique hotel that's right across the street from your park or your plaza, spend the night and have breakfast. And that's
what I'd be worried about is that corporate business, that midweek business. How do I capture, what do I do Sunday through Thursday? I know I'm going to fill up Friday and Saturday, but can I survive? Can I pay my mortgage if I don't have anything Sunday through Thursday? So attracting, filling that business park up that's already here, or attracting some more corporate clients, or maybe even making some sales calls into Silicon Valley and seeing who's willing to come out and stay in Morgan Hill and be shuttled in, because they'd rather stay in the downtown area. So that might appeal to a lot of people, especially now because everybody gets shuttled back and forth, so they don't have to drive anywhere.
You need to be prepared to know what your limits are, what you're willing to do, and what you're not willing to do. I mean, hotels and development, they bring impacts to your city as well. It's not just the revenue side of things. It's depending on what the development is. It's additional impacts to your public works. It's impacts to your public safety.
Sure. Convention Visitors Bureau. So somebody that markets the city as a destination, that's their sole purpose. That's all they do. A lot of time comes from assessments to businesses. But from my experience, most businesses are happy to participate, especially when they get a say in it.
You need to want to spend money. What I mean by that is you need to hire the right marketing people to do that. You need to bring the travel writers in from across the country. You need to be able to get the article. You need to hire the people who know how to get the articles in the LA Times, in the New York Times, who know how to get the articles in USA Today, that can reach out to those folks. Well, we found
Somebody mentioned a slogan and actually branding the city, and I think that it's very, very important to create that identity.